Welcome to Peligro Life, where we connect you to travel, wildlife, and culture. Tonight, we're sharing 3 of Costa Rica's most haunting stories that some people swear are real. In this bone-chilling adventure, we're going to explore the mystery behind La Mona, La Llorona, and if you can make it till the end, La Cegua. But these aren't just ghost stories, they're lessons passed down through generations of mothers scaring their kids. They're cautionary tales that remind us of the consequences of our actions and that the night belongs to something else. So join me, Adam Peligro, for a night of twisted legends as we explore Costa Rica's past. Our first story is one of my favorites because in Guanacaste, they say if you walk alone after midnight, you might hear laughter in the trees, and it's not from something human, and you don't want to stick around to find out. They call her La Mona. Back in the day, there was a man and a woman who lived in a small town near Liberia. Every day, the man would work super hard, come home, eat dinner, and then go to bed in a heavy sleep. The wife was mischievous by nature, and she got really bored of this routine. One day, while the man was at work, she came across a dark prayer underneath a Guanacaste tree. She hid the prayer in her dress and waited until the man fell asleep, snuck out of the house, went back to the Guanacaste tree, and then began to whisper the dark prayer. As soon as she finished whispering the last words, her body twisted, her bones cracked, and she changed into the witch monkey with glowing red eyes, long claws, and sharp, hideous teeth. She left her clothes and her skin behind underneath the Guanacaste tree and took off to the neighboring villages. She'd swing through the trees with an evil laugh, pounded on the roofs of the villager, screaming and tormenting the drunks and thieves. She especially liked to scare bad children and unfaithful men. Just before dawn, she returned back to the Guanacaste tree, grabbed her skin, put it on, changed form back into a woman, and then snuck back in her house like nothing had ever happened. The next day, the villagers were in a frenzy with all the horrific and terrifying events of the night before. She just smiled. This was the most fun she had had in a long time, and she couldn't wait to go and do it again. This went on for many nights, but eventually the husband grew suspicious and followed his wife as she snuck out. He was hiding in a bush when he saw her go to the Guanacaste tree, read the dark prayer, and transform into a hideous, evil monkey. She disappeared into the night, and he knew he had to do something. So he grabbed the skin she left behind and filled it full of salt. When she returned to the Guanacaste tree at dawn, laughing from her night of terror and rampage, she discovered her skin was destroyed. From that point on, she was trapped in the form of La Mona. I know what you're thinking. This sounds like one of those perfect tales to scare kids, but I know a grown man who swears that he saw La Mona. Now, back in his youth years, he might have got up to some questionable activities, and this night he was a teenager walking home drunk in Escazú. Escazú is really well known for the witch and mysterious activity that happens there. As he was walking back home drunk, he heard the laughing in the trees. He knew something was following him. When he looked up into the trees, he could see those glowing red eyes and instantly knew it was La Mona. He started running home as fast as he could. He got inside, slammed the door, and from that moment on, he promised his mom that he would be a better son. His choices today are still questionable, but he swears by this experience like many other people in Latin America. Now, should you encounter La Mona, there actually is a way to defeat her. What you're supposed to do is take a handful of corn, throw it at her, take a hat, throw it on the ground upside down, and then she's going to be forced to count the corn one by one until the sun rises, giving you enough time to get out and escape. So whether she's chasing bad children or scaring drunks, La Mona reminds us that the forest sees everything, and sometimes it laughs at our questionable choices. Now it's time for our second story, which just might be the most famous in all of Latin America. Her cries can be heard from Mexico all the way down to Costa Rica, and no one forgets them. She's called La Llorona, the weeping woman. They say she was a beautiful woman who fell in love with a nobleman far above her class. They had two beautiful children, a boy and a girl. He had promised that he would be there for her forever, but he soon broke that promise. As time went on, his love for her would fade, and being wealthy and handsome, he knew he could have whoever he pleased. Not being an unfaithful man, he let her know of his plans to leave her. He would take care of the kids because he had the resources to do so, and she would be left with nothing. That night, in her rage and her grief, she grabbed her two children and headed down to the now raging river. Her kids couldn't swim, but she decided that if she couldn't have them, nobody could, and she pushed them into the river, and they slowly disappeared below the surface. Now realizing what she had done, she jumped into the river to try and save them, but it was too late. The river had already taken their souls. She too hoped the river would take her soul, but it rejected her just like the heavens. Now she's trapped as a ghost, forced to wander the sides of the river, looking for her children, crying, hoping they'll come back. Parents still warn their kids not to go to the river after dark, because if they hear her cries for help, they might be inclined to join. But sometimes La Llorona mistakes these innocent children for her own and pulls them into the river, never to be seen again. If you come across La Llorona, you should never get in her way. Looking into her dead eyes of despair will change you in a way forever. La Llorona cries for her children in the night, but in her grief, she reminds us not to let our rage or heartbreak take our humanity. For our final story of the night, we tell a tale of another soul cursed by their actions. If you're near Cartago at night, be warned, you might find a beautiful woman wandering the streets at night. But whatever you do, don't stop and help. Long ago in Cartago lived a beautiful young woman. In fact, she was the most beautiful woman in town, and she knew it. She didn't have the least bit of consideration for her parents, whom she often humiliated and disobeyed because she didn't like the fact that they were poor. Legend has it that one day, this beautiful woman received an invitation to attend a fancy ball from a rich and handsome Spaniard. Her mother did not want her to go because she knew this man had a reputation for treating women poorly and was unfaithful. Not being able to attend the ball made her extremely upset, and she exploded into a tantrum. She began to say horrible things to her mother, and then she screamed, raised her arm, about to strike her mother, and then a black hand with long claws grabbed her wrist, pulled it down, and in a deep voice said, "For offending she who gave you life, you are cursed. Men will desire your body and flee from your face." At that moment, she transformed into the monster known today as La Cegua. She maintained her beautiful body, but her face was cursed. Since then, La Cegua wanders the roads near Cartago, hoping that somebody will come to her aid. She likes to lure in drunk and unfaithful men that are attracted to her beauty. She smiles as she climbs in, and that's when he sees it. Her face, a rotting horse skull, glowing eyes, and a mouth that reeks of death. Usually, the man is killed instantly by fright. Others crash their car into the ditch. But those who do survive are never the same. Their hair turns gray, and they're left in a zombie-like state for the rest of their lives, letting others know of their impure intentions. Many people to this day say that they've seen her while driving, and others swear that they've heard her laughter on lonely mountain roads. If you do see La Cegua, don't stop. And whatever you do, don't look into her dead, soulless eyes. They say she still walks the roads of Cartago, waiting for the next man who thinks with his eyes instead of his heart. These stories might sound supernatural, but they reflect something deeper about Costa Rican and Latin American cultures. They're warnings about mortality, respect, and the choices we make, staying humble, being kind, and being faithful. Whether it's the forest, the river, or the road, these legends remind us one thing: our actions echo through the generations, and sometimes those echoes just might traumatize a child in a Latin American family. Of course, every region and every family has their versions of these stories. So if you know La Mona, La Cegua, or La Llorona, please, in the comments, let me know how your version might be a little bit different or the same. And remember, be kind, stay faithful, and whatever you do, you might not want to go walking alone after midnight in Costa Rica. Stay wild and happy Halloween from Peligro Life.